Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We are so happy to welcome Missy Howard from Pegasus Farm. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Missy, you've been there how long now?
I have been at the farm 13 years.
Wow.
It's crazy how fast time goes, isn't it?
It is. What drew you there in the first place about its mission?
You know, that's an interesting story in itself, but I've always worked with horses my entire career. I was in Kentucky a long time, went to New Zealand, and when I was kind of looking to move back home, I only wanted to work at Pegasus Farm because I wanted a reputable, very mission-oriented organization, and I knew the reputation of Pegasus, and I just wanted to be part of it. And I tell you, I couldn't have been more blessed that they were actually hiring when I was looking for a job. So it all kind of fell together perfectly.
Did you grow up on a farm or something? What was the affinity with horses?
Yeah, I grew up in Navarre on a small farm, grew up in 4-H and had lots of different types of animals. I honestly remember my mom's father, my grandpa Davis, had horses, and I think just everything around that just always led me to horses and working in the equestrian industry. So it's been a unique career path, but I've enjoyed every minute of it and met and done some pretty cool things.
Very, very cool. Some people might be new in town, and they're saying, what are we talking about? What happens at Pegasus Farm? So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. So Pegasus is located in Hartville, which, you know, Hartville is known for the Hartville kitchen and flea market and hardware. So we are pretty much 5 miles east of that location right in downtown Hartville. We are at the intersection of 619 and 44. Pegasus has been there, almost 35 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
And
wow.
I know.
I remember when it was starting. Yes. Okay.
So the mission of Pegasus is we are an equestrian facility to service children and adults with some type of disability. And it got started with 5 small children and 3 school teachers with a vision. And that vision has grown into quite the place out there that we can do all of our different projects and programs that we're offering.
Where did the land come from? Did someone gift it to the organization, or how did that work?
The farm was originally the Schweitzer family farm. It was a dairy farm at one point. It was a riding academy. And then through a lot of efforts, fundraising campaigns, the land was purchased. And Doris Schweitzer was one of the original founders. So, you know, it kind of all just worked very nicely together.
And who is it for?
Okay. So our program out at Pegasus, we have a lot of programs. So I'll kind of quickly hit all of our programs.
Okay, great.
The youngest that we take is 3 years of age.
Wow.
Anyone that is interested in the main farm, our equestrian, and other activities, they do have to have a diagnosed disability. And again, that's a very wide range. That can be depression, eating disorders, sight, hearing impairments, learning disabilities, and then, you know, the large autism spectrum, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. And, you know, again, unfortunately, the list is very long of different types of disabilities that we can service.
Let me stop you right there. What does horseback riding have to do with therapy for people who have these issues?
Okay. So I think, you know, most of our listeners and probably the two of us sitting here, just being in the presence of a horse is something that's pretty special. A lot of people always dream of, you know, being around horses, working in a barn. So just that aspect, we can offer something that's unique, fun, and kind of a childhood dream. But then when you have something that might be going on, horses can offer a whole lot. First, it's a way to relax. You know, touching the horse, there's a lot of research that shows just different endorphins that are released in our mind and kind of have a calming, relaxing effect. And then someone that might be bound to crutches, wheelchairs, walkers, you know, maybe a cane, when we're able to put them on the back of a horse, they have a sense of freedom. And that freedom,
Wow.
can do so much for many people. But we also start affecting the physicalness of their body. It's anything from the muscles they're using to the balance, to their core abdominal strength, hand-eye coordination, focus, listening, concentration. So all of those things right away start happening. And then the movement of the horse, just that natural gait of a walking, trotting movement. Again, some of these individuals, those are muscles that might be used that are simulating them walking, that they don't get to do in their, everyday lives if they're bound to a wheelchair per se. So, so our core programming is still therapeutic riding. And again, I said the youngest is 3.
3 years old.
We've had up to 70, 80 plus year olds in the program. There is, of course, screening processes and applications that need to be done. Somebody would just contact Pegasus Farm and through our website, that's www.pegasusfarm.org.
Okay.
And that can start the whole process of getting someone into our programming.
I'm thinking of those 3-year-olds. I know we want to talk about the other age groups and what else is available as well. But horses also can be a little intimidating. They can be very large, and it might be a little bit scary. Where do you get these particular horses that are so special?
Okay. So our horses, we have anything from ponies all the way up to draft horses. We have a very wide variety of different breeds and ages and disciplines of training that the horses might have. So, of course, the little ones, they're going to be on ponies. But where the horses come from, we do purchase horses and we do take in donations. Now, any type of donation, they do have to be a very serviceable, sound horse for the walk, trot, and canter. Some of our horses are used 2 and 3 times a day. A very good disposition. And then we do continue some specialty training with our horses.
That was my next question. Do you have any training that you put the horses through?
And of course, that's all staff involvement with the specialty training until they work into the therapeutic program.
What does that look like?
The training of the horses? Oh, well, it can look different for each horse. But, we start with what we call groundwork, and that is us just, handling them without riding and just making sure they know the right and the wrongs of what they need to do, kind of getting them used to a lot of things. Horses are they're flight animals. They want to protect themselves if they're nervous or upset. So we just need to work through that with the horses and let them see and understand the props and all of the different equipment that we'll use. Some horses, it's a very quick process. Others, it takes a little bit longer. But we have, a hydraulic lift that helps get individuals on the horses.
Nice.
There are a lot of people working around the horses. So, just all of those things we need to get them used to before we start riding. And then, of course, staff would start riding them and working them through more intensive training options at that point.
The horses need to get used to the fact that lots of different people and their different ways of riding them will be riding them as well. Is that difficult ever?
Yeah, because when you think of, again, me saying a donated horse or a horse that we buy, if I ride a horse, I've ridden pretty much all my life. I understand, I know how to balance myself, I hold my weight in a certain way on the horses. Our therapy horses, our participants, don't always have the best balance. And, their weight is distributed differently on the horses. So, those are things we have to take into consideration when we're training horses and looking at horses. Some of our riders, though, I can say are very advanced riders as well. We have individuals that do everything for themselves and have moved on to very advanced riding. And then we have some individuals that it takes 2 to 3 people to help them ride. And someone is leading the horse and doing what we call side walking and helping them balance as they're walking.
Missy, do you think the horses understand how very special they are in the lives of the riders?
Oh, 100%.
They get it?
Yeah, you're gonna make me tear up if you ask me that question. Our horses, they're just so unique and fun, and they do know what they're doing. I truly do believe that. We have horses with their individual personalities. Some, do some things, and others, we just stand back and say, oh my gosh, did the horse just do that?
Wow.
Because they get it. Yeah.
I'm assuming that for the riders, they are assigned a horse and they have the same horse every time, or is that not the case?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There's a lot of variables when it comes to that. We have horses that have kind of a faster walking gait, some that are a little slower. Some horses have maybe a little bit more roundness of their barrel, or the back area where they're sitting. Some, take turns in different ways. So all of those things are qualities that we look at when we're assigning to a certain type of rider. And then, yes, some of them do stay on the same horse, but for different reasons, we can switch horses around for rider needs or the horse's needs.
Talk to me about the relationship then between the rider and the horse. Like, I'd love to hear when you've said, wow, did the horse just do that, what it just did?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen... we have a very special one, our biggest horse on property. His name's Micah. He's a big gray Percheron. And I have seen that horse, a student might be having a difficult time, or maybe there's a balance issue. And I've stood back and watched him literally pause, stop. He gets this look in his eye. And he just steps there and does, or, if the person's losing their balance, he kind of steps under them to make sure that their balance is centered again.
Wow.
I have seen him, and just the look in his eye, he's like, okay, I got this. I don't want anyone to worry right now because I'll take care of what needs to happen. As far as relationships with the horses, moving on to some of our other programs we offer, we have what we call a driving program. And driving is not a car. It is a car, but in this situation, it's different.
Yes.
It's a horse in a carriage, cart, or buggy that we can hook to them. We'll harness the horse. And this has allowed individuals who may plain be scared, fearful, or don't want to ride a horse anymore. Maybe they've exceeded our weight limit for riding, or, maybe it's just what they want to do is to learn how to drive.
Secure.
Yeah, because they are sitting on more of a bench seat.
Yes.
So that really for our adult population has really taken off quite a bit. And I have seen some of our adults come in that do the driving program, and they just light up and they start remembering, their parents or grandparents, and, taking some drives on the buggies or the workhorses they may have had on their farm. And to just see that in the individuals and just to bring back such fond memories is something very fun to watch.
You have so many things going on at the farm. Tell me what is old and what is new at the main farm.
Another quick program, we have a vaulting club. Vaulting is gymnastics on horseback.
No.
Yes.
You're kidding.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, my.
And, those of you that don't know, my 2 kids are sitting in the room right now, and my daughter is on the vaulting team. And
that has to be amazing.
Yeah, they lay down and stand up and ride backwards. And
do you compete?
They unfortunately don't compete.
Do they perform somewhere?
They do perform, yes. But
so we can see this?
Yeah. They just performed in June at our Family Fun Day, and we have a winter vaulting fest that we put on. But vaulting is pretty fun. I tell people all the time with my daughter Mallory, first off, I'm jealous because I never got to do it when I was young. And then as a parent, I get a little of the fear factor because she's little and they like to hold her up the highest and do all kinds of fun things. But
she looks like she enjoys it.
Yeah. So vaulting is a lot of fun.
Wow.
We do have many youth at risk programs that we offer. Some of those groups do riding and some do not ride. But again, talking about seeing the turnaround of young individuals just dealing with a lot of tough stuff in their life, they can relate to these horses. I've had many young people tell me, no one else will listen to me, but this horse, he'll stand here and listen to me, and he won't tell me what to do or judge me. And, that happens time and time again. And just also teaching them a sense of responsibility, a sense of their actions mean something and how to work around the horses.
I'm so curious to know, we've got to take a break, but here's the next question as soon as we come back. With all of the schools getting together and trying to address depression in teens, is Pegasus part of that conversation?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Good.
We
all
can
right.
help. Yep.
Good. We are going to take a short break here. We are visiting with Missy Howard from Pegasus Farm. You're listening to Our Community.